officially I started studying CFA. Like I told you, from May I had stopped studying and I just started solving questions. So I would say I started a proper revision in August, September, but not very detailed revision. My proper detailed revision only started from November 1. So I had exactly 26 days in hand because November 27 was my exam. Proper detailed revision only started from November 1. So I had exactly 26 days in hand because November 27 was my exam. I did my best. I did my best. Now, the thing here is I had resetted my candidate resources. I had not really done too many. In fact, I don't even think I reset it. I didn't complete the candidate resources. I left a few questions. In fact, quite a few questions. I completed, I think, 25% of it. End of chapter curriculum questions I had done all. Okay. So somewhere there was a guilt that started creeping in, that why didn't you practice every single question? You should have done it. You had 1 year to do it. Why didn't you do it? Why didn't you do it? Not realizing that, in that 1 year, I also had to deal with a lot of emotional baggage. But I was like, stop thinking about it. Just do what you can. And I started revising. And I remember one day before the exam, honestly, it started 2 days before the night, 2 nights before, but one day before particularly, so on 26th November, I don't know what it was. I don't know what happened. I had such a bad panic attack. Like I've never had that, okay? And I cannot forget it because it was the first time I had gone through that maybe. I was extremely sick, like extremely sick. I had been having severe diarrhea. My entire body was constantly trembling. I was running around like a fluttering battery here and there. I was trying to read derivatives. I remember I wanted to revise derivatives ke formulas. That's it. Like in the end of chapter derivatives, end of my book, I always write these important points to remember. So I just wanted to go through that. But it was like, literally I felt like the letters were dancing. I couldn't understand what was happening. I was like, what's happening? I couldn't read anything. Even if I was reading it, I was like, there was nothing going in my head, and I was like, what's happening? I couldn't eat, I couldn't do anything. uh, I even ended up cutting my finger majorly, and I have like this on my right hand, so this finger literally had a major cut. And I have phobia from blood, so that just increased my panic. कि क्या हो गया, and it was like obviously bleeding and bleeding and bleeding and bleeding, and this was literally at 1 a.m. this finger got cut, and I was like, सुबह 7 बजे मुझे जाना है एग्जाम के लिए, कैसे होगा? That panic. And I don't know what happened. There's this one song that I used to listen to, then I still do. It's slightly religious, but sometimes you need to. It's called तेरी है ज़मीन तेरा आसमान, तू बड़ा मेहरबान, तू रक्षा कर सबकी, something like that the lyrics is. I don't know what happened, and I just said, and I told my mom, just play it. I don't know what happened, and she played it on like the TV of the hall, and पूरे घर में बस वो गाना चल रहा था at 1 a.m. And I don't know if it was the lyrics, I don't know if it was music therapy. I started calming down a little. This is at 1:30 a.m. Okay, and I remember I was in such a bad state. I'll tell you this, that the next day at 7 a.m. when I had reached my exam center at 8 a.m. actually, my mom told me for the first time in history of me giving exams, don't go, leave it. चाहिए ही नहीं मुझे ये mental trauma. I remember her words. She's like, let's go back, leave it. I don't want you to give it. You don't give it. I don't want to see my child in so much distress. Obviously, mothers. But anyways, I went in. Uh, Sorry, I'm being a little jumbled because it's too emotional story. But anyways, the one night before, like I said, when I calmed down after hearing that song, not fully, but there was a slight relaxation that happened. Clearly, should have done it before. Then I once again read through my derivatives formulas and wala. That was the only thing I had left to revise. मतलब मैंने सब कर लिया था. This I just wanted to see once before the exam. So I saw it. I had marked one thing जो मुझे सुबह देखना था, and I slept. Now obviously I did not sleep because I'm not a person who can sleep before the exam. Very bad habit, but I just couldn't. But I somehow slept. थोड़ा बहुत, maybe an hour or two, I must have fallen asleep. I got up, got ready. In the morning also, that panic was kicking in. Diarrhea was kicking in. I don't know, मेरे को ना anxiety होते ही पेट में कुछ कुछ गुड़ होने लगता है. But anyways, so that's when we went to the center. I remember my mom telling me these words, and I can never forget it. We were sitting in the car behind. My dad was in the front, and she said this, and I was like, what happened? When my mom said that to me, there was that moment, and I'm like, no, Tani, you're not this weak. You can go. You're not that week कि तू एक failure नहीं झेल सकती तो क्या हो गया यार, because you know what happened at that point, there were too many things at stake. I had seen everybody go back to their earning life and leave CFA because he said it's useless, it's this, it's that, it's wasting their time. 3 साल हो गए, एग्जाम ही नहीं होगा, कभी नहीं होगा. Those comments got into my head. So I would say that that is what really brought me down, and that kind of came out at the wrong day, wrong time. But anyways, when I went inside the exam hall, and I always say this to everybody, just before I, hit start on that computer, I was like, you know what? अब तो जो है सो है, and you're not that big a weakling that you can't tolerate a failure. You're way stronger than that. लाइफ में इससे भी ज्यादा चीजें देखी हैं और उससे निकले भी हैं, टच वुड. ये भी कर लेंगे. अभी के लिए एनीवेज यू कांट डू एनीथिंग. पैनिक करके तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला. दिस इज लिटरली आई एम टेलिंग यू अ कॉन्वर्सेशन दैट आई हैव हैड विद माय सेल्फ बिफोर आई स्टार्टेड. I'm like, so just do it because you can't do anything anyways. अब तो यहाँ से पीछे जाने का भी रास्ता नहीं. You can't leave the exam hall and go like that. I mean, you can, but now you've come to just give the exam and go. जो होगा देखा जाएगा. And I've given my exam. I've completed it 5 minutes before time. Same for my PM section. And when I came back, I remember I was fine. I was like, ठीक है, हो गया, whatever. Good day. Went to the doctor to get my finger treated after the exams. I literally gave my CFA level 2 exam with the bleeding finger. My finger was literally bleeding even during the exam. So I remember doing my rough work, and CFA level 2 is numerical heavy. I keep saying it literally like this. I couldn't hold this. I was literally doing it like this. Dedication देख लो भाई. शायद भगवान जी को तरस आ गया. So I cut to my result date. It was somewhere Jan 2022, and I had just got COVID. First time. 2 साल में नहीं हुआ, उस time हो गया. So I was just recovering from COVID कि मेरा result आ गया. And I remember my result came at around 5:30. I was in the shower at 5. Yes, I did not want to take a bath before that because I was like zen mode. Anyways, so 5 o'clock I went to take a shower. In my shower में सोच रही थी, and I was like, I don't know. I have a feeling कि शायद पास होगा. लेकिन तब तक लगा था कि पास होगा, लेकिन पता नहीं क्यों शावर में ना वो उस टाइम पे 5 बजे, literally 30 minutes before my exam, I felt कि नहीं, I'm not gonna pass. Some intuition comes suddenly, something hits in your head, and I'm like, okay. And I had that pep talk with myself because I was so sure. I was like, जब मैंने last के 2-3 months में पहले पढ़ा ही नहीं था, लेकिन खाली पहले पढ़ा था, but in between May to October इतना नहीं पढ़ा, तो कैसे होगा? I didn't solve all the candidate resource questions. There are people who did it twice, thrice, तो मैं क्यों pass होंगी? And I was like, what, accepted नहीं होगा. And I shed a tear, obviously, in the washroom. And I'd come out, and I was just scrolling through reels. I was lying down after that. It was 5:15, 5:20. I was scrolling through reels, and I came across this random, just like a post, not even a reel, a post, like literally a post of Vaheguruji. And it read something like, अगर तुम, मतलब I'm just translating what it means, but I'll put the exact picture here so you know what I mean. It was like, अगर तुम रब की मर्जी में खुश रहोगे तो रब जानता है कि तुम्हारे दिल में क्या, and he will do that for you. It meant something like that. I'll put the exact picture here. I can't remember the exact wordings. I have read that quote and I'm like, okay. And I've kept my phone. I just left my phone. I was like, what? Now, जो भी होगा, अच्छा या बुरा, God is taking the decision for me. If CFA is worth it to stay in my life, if I should continue, then I will pass. And that is the reason I did not even quit my level 3. I do not quit my level 3 because I was like, in that moment I taken the decision that if I pass this exam, then I know that this is meant for me and God wants me to walk through this path, and I will make sure that I do it. And if I don't pass this exam, then I will leave it and go towards my other passion, that is media. I'd left my phone. I'd closed my eyes for 5 minutes, just lying down literally on my bed because I was still very weak post-COVID. And literally in 5 minutes, there was a buzz on my phone and I knew that the mail had come because I saw WhatsApp group पे आने लगे थे. My mom was sitting beside me. I held her hand. I opened the mail and it was, congratulations, Tanishka, you had passed. And I'm saying it like this. उस time पे तो I was like, I was in utter shock. मतलब मेरे को अगले दिन realize हुआ कि shit क्या हो गया. But yeah, that moment, that one moment, मुझे पता था भगवान जी ने अपना decision सुना लिया था. So that was it. And why am I sharing this with you? I know it's a long video, but please listen to it. Why did I pass? Of course, God's blessings. God was kind that day. Luck was on my side. Because it did not matter कि मैंने वो लास्ट के कुछ महीनों में क्या किया था यार, यू नो, लास्ट टुवर्ड्स द एग्जाम आई हैड मेड माई बेस so strong from 2019 itself. And I'm not talking about the time, right? Not everybody gets 2 years to do CFA. It was about how well I had absorbed the concepts, that even if I did not solve every candidate resource questions, my mind knew what to do. Because I had made sure that in my first detailed reading, which is what I keep telling all of you, that is what matters. अगर वो फर्स्ट डिटेल रीडिंग में आपने सब कुछ अच्छे से अपने अंदर डाल दिया ना, तो आप लास्ट में 20 दिन भी रिवाइज करोगे, देयर इज नो चांस दैट योर सबकॉन्शियस माइंड doesn't bring it forward, provided you have made sure that when you did that first detailed reading, you've clarified each and every concept, each and every word, understood it, explained it to yourself, explained it to every part of your body कि हाँ भाई इसका मतलब ये है. Because मैंने वो किया था, that's why my subconscious mind knew everything, and that is why on the exam day I was able to clear it. You know, I was such a person. Manish sir ka approach tha obviously, but I really followed it. So you all would know CFA level 2 for people who are giving it or are planning to give it or who have given it. You would know it's heavy on numericals. अब इतने सारे formulas इंसान कैसे याद करेगा? Basic formulas जो हम continuously कॉलेज से लेवल 1 से किए जा रहे हैं, वो तो मुझे याद थे ही. A few important ones जिसका कोई alternate नहीं था, वो भी याद किए मैंने. But other than that, I had an approach. Manish sir had taught us an approach, and I had made sure that I had solved every question only through a logical approach, so that I didn't have the tension, and I could only and only use my logic to solve things when your concepts are clear. So I always say this: just make sure that your first detailed reading is done very well and the concepts are clear. It's fine if there is your friend who's doing it in 2 days and you're taking 2 weeks. If this is what you're doing, believe me, it's worth it, because वो 2 days जल्दी तो हो गया, बट बाद में रिटेंशन कम होगा. एंड आप अगर बाद में बीच में छोड़ भी दोगे ना, योर माइंड हैज literally ingrained it in every cell of your body, and it will show on the exam day. Anyways, I know ये वीडियो बहुत लंबा हो गया, but still I hope that you have liked it and you have understood my story. It was a very, very emotional, personal story, so there was a little bit of choking, there was a little bit of upper niche, but I hope you like it. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe to this channel. Until then, keep sparkling and definitely keep learning.